There is an unofficial frontrunner to replace Trudeau, who can soon be official. It's not Chrystia Freeland or Anita Anand or Dominic LeBlanc or any other cabinet minister. The man doesn't even carry the burden of the Trudeau years.
Welcome to TFI Global, the antidote to mass delusion.
When federal public service unions recently threatened a summer of discontent, you could almost imagine Justin Trudeau, the maestro of misplaced empathy, stepping up to deliver a heartfelt fuddle-duddle on behalf of beleaguered Canadians. But alas, the moment was not to be. Having recently inked generous deals with major public sector unions, one might have expected Trudeau's government to bask in a bit of labour peace. Instead, it was an opera of outrage. A gaggle of federal union leaders held a press conference, putting on a performance worthy of the best soap operas. The bone of contention: the federal government had the audacity to request that its employees show up at the office for, brace yourselves, 3 whole days a week. Never mind that after a marathon strike, the government maintained the right to make such management decisions under the new agreement, which the unions themselves had signed off on. Treasury Board President Anita Anand, stupid as ever, pointed out that this was a management right before and after the new collective agreements. But the unions, bless their hearts, were not having it. They issued dire warnings of potential disruptions at borders and airports, as if Canadian travellers haven't suffered enough indignities. Longtime Public Service Alliance President Chris Aylward decided to bow out shortly after the melodramatic press conference. Meanwhile, Trudeau seemed content to remain conspicuously silent, perhaps contemplating the futility of it all from his sylvan retreat. Pierre Poilievre, ever the opportunist, opted to let Trudeau stew in his own juices, refraining from commenting on the 3 days in the office kerfuffle. There's a golden rule in politics: when your opponent is making a fool of himself, just sit back and enjoy the spectacle. Poilievre has evidently mastered this strategy with aplomb. As a threatened summer of turmoil morphs into a season of barbecues for Trudeau and Poilievre, there may still be some plot twists. Trudeau's MPs will dutifully host fundraisers attempting to bolster Liberal Party coffers ahead of the next election. One newcomer, Anna Gainey, who effortlessly secured Mark Carney's Westmount seat in a by-election, has a special guest lined up for an upcoming event: Mark Carney. Gainey, practically liberal aristocracy, has close ties with Carney thanks to their roles in the influential think tank Canada 2020. Political gossip in Montreal now suggests Gainey might be subtly nudging Trudeau about his shelf life. Apparently, Trudeau develops selective hearing whenever the topic of his departure comes up. If there is an unofficial frontrunner to replace Trudeau, it's Carney. Sure, other experienced and talented individuals might vie for the top spot, Chrystia Freeland chief among them. But unlike Freeland, Anita Anand, Dominic LeBlanc or any other cabinet minister, Carney does not have to carry the burden of the Trudeau years. It's a burden that taxpayers are increasingly unwilling to bear. Amid union threats, it's notable that Trudeau has bloated the federal civil service by 109,000 employees, a whopping 42% increase since 2015. In the same period, Canada's population grew by just 14%, so the civil service has expanded 3 times faster than the population itself, with little to show for it. Recent polls indicate that inflation remains a top concern for Canadians. Trudeau shows no inclination to cut government spending even as Canadians struggle with skyrocketing grocery bills. The disconnect is evident in the polls, where the Conservatives hold a consistent 20-point lead. Carney does pose some threat to Poilievre, as evidenced when the Conservatives tried to summon him to a parliamentary committee, claiming he clearly wants to replace Trudeau. The Conservatives have good reasons to worry about Carney. He has a modest background, an engaging manner, and deep expertise in economic and environmental matters, having held top positions globally. His potential to pin Poilievre to submission is not there yet, but compared to Trudeau, he is Hulk Hogan. Many Canadians eager to see Trudeau gone might not be persuaded to give the Liberals another chance, but With Carney at the helm, they may fare slightly better. They can still have a decent number in the opposition benches. While Trudeau alone will decide his political future, the pressure will mount as another aimless Trudeau campaign looms, disheartening MPs, potential candidates, and loyal party supporters.